My fellow Americans, our movement is far from over. In fact, our fight has only just begun. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. So with American pride swelling in our hearts and American courage stirring in our souls, I say these words to you tonight. We will make America great again.
President Donald Trump said Saturday that he would charge a 10% import tax starting in February on goods from 8 European countries because of opposition to U.S. control of Greenland. He said in a social media post that Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland face the tariff, which would be raised to 25% on June 1st if a deal is not in place for the complete and total purchase of Greenland by the United States. Trump said the United States has long subsidized Denmark and other European Union countries by not imposing tariffs and argued it is time for Denmark to give back. He claimed China and Russia seek influence over Greenland and asserted that only the United States can protect the territory. Trump said Denmark and 7 other European nations, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and Finland, have recently engaged with Greenland, calling the situation dangerous and unsustainable. Earlier, hundreds of people in Greenland's capital braved near-freezing temperatures, rain, and icy streets to march in a rally on Saturday in support of their own self-governance in the face of threats of an American takeover. The Greenlanders waved their red and white national flags and listened to traditional songs as they walked through Nuuk's small downtown. Some carried signs with messages like, "We shape our future," "Greenland is not for sale," and "Greenland is already great." They were joined by thousands of others in rallies across the Danish kingdom. The rallies occurred hours after a bipartisan U.S. congressional delegation in Copenhagen sought to reassure Denmark and Greenland of their support following U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to punish countries with tariffs if they don't back the administration's stance that the United States should take control of the strategic Arctic island.
I think the EU is much more economically powerful than America, than the US. There's many more consumers, there's many more gross domestic product, so we can actually hurt the US a lot. And recently there's been a big treaty signed by Ursula von der Leyen on behalf of the European Commission because Trump was hustling his tariffs. And I think we should get back to that, just to say, okay, it's going to be tough for us, but it's going to be more tough for US.
Pots and pans clash in the cold Amsterdam air. Outside the U.S. consulate, the sound is defiant, metal against metal, echoing a message that stretches far beyond the Netherlands. Keep Greenland free.
World peace is at stake over Greenland. He says that China and Russia both want the territory and there was nothing that Denmark can do about it, accusing them of having 2 dog sleds as protection. He went on to say that the UK, along with other European nations, including France and Germany, had journeyed to Greenland for purposes unknown, accusing them of playing a dangerous game. Well, writing on his social media platform, the US president said, therefore, it is imperative that in order to protect global peace and security, strong measures be taken so that this potentially perilous situation ends quickly and without question. Starting on February the 1st, 2026, all of the above-mentioned countries, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands and Finland, will be charged a 10% tariff on any and all goods sent to the United States of America. On June the 1st, 2026, the tariff will be increased to 25%. This tariff will be due and payable until such time as a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. Our political correspondent Amanda Acas is in Westminster for us. This statement from Donald Trump raises the question, what kind of fight are European countries, including Britain, of course, prepared to mount for Greenland if diplomacy fails?
To be honest, it's a bit of a disaster, I would say, for Sir Keir Starmer and the Labour government, who have staked so much on developing this supposedly close special relationship with Donald Trump, but also are torn with their desire to maintain that relationship, but also stand up for NATO and to stand up for a very close European ally in Denmark. And what we've seen in recent weeks, ever since Donald Trump started once again to begin talking about Greenland and how he wanted to take it over, either by some kind of invasion or through a purchase. Sir Keir Starmer has spoken to him on the phone several times and talked to him about how he recognises the importance of increasing security in the High North. He's then gone away to European allies, had phone calls with President Macron of France, Chancellor Merz of Germany, in which he's told them it's very important that we all work together and increase security in the High North. Just this week, we've seen Yvette Cooper travelling to Scandinavia to try and reinforce this message. And then the rather bizarre spectacle of the UK announcing it's sending just one military officer to Greenland to take part in a reconnaissance exercise as part of a big group international NATO training deployment there, which is yet to be unveiled, which is something that was announced this week. Now, it seems that it's this that Donald Trump might be referring to when he kind of lists all these countries going to visit Greenland, but says that's for purposes unknown and they're playing a very dangerous game. Seems remarkable that the US wouldn't have been kept informed of what the Europeans were doing there, given the whole point of that was trying to demonstrate to Donald Trump that he doesn't need to take over Greenland in order to ensure its security, that the Europeans and the rest of NATO are prepared to do their part to step up and help protect Greenland. But the message in this is very aggressive towards the UK and indeed all those other European partners listed within his statement.
Honestly, guy, I don't really know what's wrong with this man called President Trump. Like, the thing is so crazy. I don't know. Like, you try to want to portray a piece of an island, so the citizen in that island or the citizen in that state say no, they don't want your offer. Why can't you just rest? Now, you have decided that you are going to do it on an easy way or do it on a highway, which is crazy for an airline on Leto for that matter. Man, this is so fucking crazy.